What is going on, guys? I am back on the mic today from Spectral Sound, and welcome to this week's video. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a virtual Riot bass, a warm-up style bass to be specific. Let me play this for you. Obviously, a warm-up style bass is in his song, you guessed it, warm-ups. So let me play this drop.
Okay, let's try something different.
Now, I played the entire first drop for you for a reason, because when I say virtual Riot style, like warm-up style bass, it's not the exact bass. I didn't try to recreate one of the specific basses in there. All I was trying to do was create that sort of style bass, because there are like 4 different basses he showed in there that all sound different, but they're the same kind of style. And I know Frosty already did a tutorial on these kind of basses, but I wanted to approach it from a slightly different method on how to get those kind of harmonics. So I kind of found this out by accident, but it turned out pretty cool. So obviously, well, I should probably play the sound before I actually tell you how to make it. Okay, this is the sound. That's just a couple different notes I have. This E and C. It sounds good in C, F, wherever you want to play it. But yeah. Okay, so now let's get right into this. Now, this it is a custom waveform, but that's okay, because all I had to do to get this wavetable was import a picture of the virtual Riot logo, because we're making a virtual Riot style bass, right? And I'm going to tell you this right now, this does not have to be like a virtual Riot logo. You can make this style with any kind of, when you import pictures or something, like I made the same sort of thing by importing like the Cymatics logo. Might do a tutorial on that later, but that's what I did. All you have to do is get something that has all these squarey things going on. Like, have a look at it. See all of those kind of shapes? That's all you can do. Now, if you want to recreate this bass, then I will give the link to this this picture in the description, and then you can just free download it from there, and then you can throw it in Serum. But all I want you to take away from this is that I imported a picture of something that has that sort of squarey sound. Like if there wasn't a mirror on this, it looked like that. Here. That sort of thing. So that's all you really need for that. But I thought it was funny that I was able to do it with the virtual Riot logo. No, there's no second oscillator, so there's nothing to worry about there. Create this sort of style shape that it goes up real fast and then kind of fades down. And I put the start position on this halfway point. I'm going to get to that later, because what makes this sound is the ring modulation. So let's start at the first oscillator. I have the unison at 16, but the detune is super low. It's really low, and the blend is up like 36, so it's just a little bit of spread there, not doing too much. And then the wavetable position is all the way up, and it's going down -23. Like I said, if you have a different wavetable, then that won't really matter. And then I put a mirror on this, and that just kind of affected the sound a bit. Like, it didn't change too much. It just added a little more higher frequency stuff, and I thought it sounded nice. So the mirror is all the way up. It's modulating down at -32. And pan is don't mess with that. Level is at 0 and going up 75. That's very important to getting a clean kind of sound without having to use like a low pass filter or something, because that's weird. Okay, so that's for the first oscillator. You don't have to change the octave or the pitch or anything. And then you turn on the sub, which is direct out. It's just a sine wave. The level is modulating up from like down completely to up 100%, and it's down to just a sub for this tutorial. Like I said, in like all my tutorials for Serum, I normally wouldn't do this. I'd make a new sub, but whatever. Okay, don't mess with the noise. I didn't need to use the noise. Filter. This is extremely important. This ring modulation right here, not the ring mod X2. Don't get confused with that. It's just the ring mod. So only A is going through this, and the keyboard tracking is on. That is also very important to get the same sort of tone in every note. Otherwise, the ring modulation will not follow the actual pitch, and it'll sound different. Like on every note you play, one note will sound terrible, and another note will sound great. We want all the notes to sound good, so key tracking. Also, so the cutoff is at 288 hertz. This is fine tuning. That's when the fine tuning comes in, because at 288 hertz, the ring modulation just gives us beautiful frequencies. Like, let me turn it off and show you what I'm talking about. Pretty sucky, right? And now with the ring mod, you just get some beautiful harmonics. That's sort of Terror Squad style harmonics with that. And I love using that technique ever since I saw Shane from RPS use ring mod to make something. It wasn't this like kind of patch. He just used the ring mod, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I decided to use it in one of these patches, and it turned out pretty great. Resonance, I always want to say resolution, 10%. Drive is all the way down. That's all. It makes it all the way up. Just the basic stuff here. It's nothing too complicated. Just fine tuning the cutoff is really what makes the sound. All right. Now I believe that is all for that. We'll get to that macro in a sec. What is LFO? Oh, I tried messing with the pitch, but the master pitch didn't really work because then the ring mod wasn't getting affected by it, and it was weird. It didn't work out very well. So I don't know. I don't suggest doing that with the master tune. Now for the effect section, lots of effects here. Let me turn off all the effects so you can see what exactly the effect is. Not too great, huh? So, first off we start with a filter. This is a high pass notch filter. Love the high pass notch filter. I've already said that in many tutorials because I use it a lot. Cutoff is at 26 hertz and it's going up 36. So that's just the sweepy motion of that high pass, which is going to get us a really, really good sound. We love that. Resonance is at 68%. Drive is all the way down. The frequency is at 75, going down negative 32. So that's actually the notch filter. This cutoff right here controls the high pass, and this controls the notch. And the notch going down while the high pass is going up will create that extra sort of talk sound along with the high pass. So the mix is all the way up, so that's not something to worry about. Now we have this. Okay, still needs a lot of work, but we're getting to it. Phaser. I turn the depth all the way down, the rate all the way down. The frequency is at 35 hertz, and it's going up 26. And I believe the feedback and the phaser are all the same. You see what it is. And the mix is all the way down, going up 60. Now that's just adding extra, like, talking, because when you're controlling the phaser like this, like, let me turn the mix all the way up. You can hear what it does. It's going like a whoa, whoa. You're getting those harmonics in there because it's sweeping across the spectrum, which is what I'm controlling with this frequency right here, because the phaser isn't moving because I turned the rate all the way down. So that's just for a little extra vowelliness, and I turn the mix all the way up with this modulation. So just throws a little extra in there. Now the compression, very important. This multi-band OTT compressor is great for like almost every sound ever. Threshold is negative 8.3. Ratio is 4:1. I believe that's how it normally is. And I think I left the time variables the way they are at 90 and 90. Yeah, gain is at 0. Have it on multi-band. You can see what I did with the bands here. Just get them at that specific area. There's not really a percentile I can show you. And the mix is also going up. Now, I did this, it's at 0 and it's going up to 100. I did this because if the compressor is all the way up the entire time, then it's going to be compressing the sound the entire time, obviously. And when it's down at these bottom areas right here and right here, I don't want there to be a lot of sound. Like, I want to get those rich harmonics and tones that the multi-band compressor gives me, but I don't want to have them the entire time. I want them when at the peak of the modulation here. So I just modulated the mix that way, and that was how I achieved that effect. You can hear it. This is with the mix modulated like I have it. And now let me turn it all the way up. you're getting some weird, especially the sub area when it's sliding down. You just get some weird compression, and I didn't like that. This helped clean up the sound. Hyperdimension, if I remember correctly, because I didn't make this recently, but this is extremely important. Let's give a listen to this. Yeah, that really helps widening the sound. So the mix is at 50%. I believe I left the detune at 25 and the rate at 16. Yeah, okay. So that's how that is. It's unison is 4 as usual. It really spreads the sound, adds some more voices, some big depth. It really just elevates the sound and makes it thicker. Size is at 1%, and the mix is at 55. So just the extra dimension, I do that with my basses. Okay, now for the chorus. Let's hear this. Again, just a little extra depth, a little wider. I have the rate down, actually, 0.01 hertz. Delay 1 is 0.0 and delay 2 is 0.3, so it's just a really tight chorus there. And the depth is at 20 milliseconds? 20 ms, whatever that stands for. I don't know, because I'm stupid. Okay. Feedback is 10%. The low pass filter is all the way up, so we're getting all the harmonics in the chorus, not just the low harmonics, which make it a little muddy. Doing the same thing that I did with the compressor, and I'm turning the mix down and putting it up 50% instead of 100% this time. Because 100% chorus would be just kind of, you wouldn't get, it isn't that powerful. So I just wanted to add a little extra stereo and wideness there. Distortion. Let's try, see how this sounds. Without the distortion. So now I'm not doing that much distortion. Like you can see that thing here. It's not going up too high. That's really it's acting a little more like a compressor at this point, just kind of limiting those really screechy, piercing harmonics up top, and because there's specific areas in the harmonic spectrum that are particularly screechy, and you can hear it. Like watch it up here. I'm going to be pointing to where they are. Those areas right there where it's not a nice sizzly high end up here, and it's not quite a mid, it's just kind of a piercing area. So distortion in this particular patch kind of limits that. It sort of acts as a compressor. You know, it kind of flattens out the spectrum a bit. It's hard to see, but you can definitely hear the difference. So yeah, I have the distortion, down 0 and going up 54. It's just a tube distortion, mixes all the way up. So just simple stuff. EQing, and we have another high pass filter because I love them so much. And I get some extra harmonics from the chorus and the distortion and the hyper and stuff. You get some, and the compressor as well, you get some extra lower harmonics that sound kind of muddy, and I wanted to clean it out with a high pass filter, but why not modulate it as well? Because to make something sound cooler, you modulate it. You can quote me on that. So it's down 22, okay. It's down 22, going up 47, and the Q factor is at 61%. Gain wouldn't matter, it's low pass filter. And you can see it's doing the exact same thing. It's just going up and down and all that. So on this one, it's a shelving EQ on the top end. It is at 8601 hertz, so it's pretty high. And the gain is going up, or it is negative 16, and it's going up 41. And that's just to give a little extra. There were a little too many high harmonics hanging out at the end of this modulation, so I'm just going up and down with that just to clean it up a bit. And that adds some good. It adds a nice tone. The Q factor for this is 59%, by the way. Okay, for the delay. Now, I'm not using a delay as like an echo in this case. I'm using it more as like a flanger. So how this is working is I have the... Yeah, okay. I have the... You can see the time variables here. I turned BPM and link off. Oh, dang it. I messed it up. Okay. Well, let me pull this back up. Masons. Brain fart. Okay. Now, here we are. Let's turn that reverb off. We're back where we started. Okay. Perfect. Now, I turned the link in the BPM off, and this left is at 3.96, and the right is at 11.31. Yeah, that's a point. Okay. And that's just a really tight sort of delay, and stereo-wise as it is, they're not linked up to the same time frame. What it does is it adds a wider metallic kind of feel, and it acts as a really tight chorus almost. And that's what a flanger does. It affects those time variables, just a really tight delay. And you can control how it flanges with the speed of how much the speed of the delay that it has there. So I'm kind of using it as a flanger at that point. And I have the mix all the way down, and it's just going up a little bit, 17%. Just want a little bit in there. You don't want it to be too piercing. And you can see where I have this little filter. It's just down here. It's cutting off the very top and the bottom end, so you don't get a muddy mix. All right. And for the reverb, I have it on Hall reverb. Size is 35%. Decay is 4.7 seconds. Low cut is all the way down. High cut is at 69%. And the mix is at 16%. And that's just to add some extra reverb. Now let's give it a listen. Sounds pretty nice. But you may notice that I've forgotten to go over a couple things. First of all, it's envelope 1 and this macro right here. So let's go over that. For this envelope 1, all that I'm doing is dropping the sound for the first little bit. For the first bit here when it's falling down, and then it comes up once it hits this upslope. Now the reason I'm doing that is because in this ring modulation, it doesn't, when the cutoff is this low at 288 hertz, it doesn't start immediately. It has a fade in, and if I go like this, you can hear it. It does a quick fade in, and that sounds, it doesn't match with the beat. It doesn't start when I want it to start. So that's why I couldn't leave the start point here. If I remove this start point, it goes like this. You can see there's like an attack there. And I suppose that kind of mimics what a sidechain would do, at least a very strong sidechain. But you don't want that in the patch. So this is what I did. I turned it all the way down, and now it goes. But when you put the start point in the center here, as it's fading in on, I'm pointing at the screen again. Why am I doing that? Okay. It's fading in on this portion right here. And then once it hits here, it's already at full volume. So if we mute the very first section, the very first start of this sound, then we'll mute all of this, and then it'll start right in its full power. And it works beautifully. Now, that being said, there is some time things. Like if I wanted to start here, I have to put it a beat early. Or half a beat early, sorry. It's starting right here. You have to put it half a beat early on whatever rhythm you're creating with it. But that's the only thing. Other than that, the ring modulation makes some really good sounds. And this macro here is also on this cutoff, and it's kind of like a depth. I thought I named it depth, but maybe I didn't. Whatever. And when I move this, you're controlling the cutoff of this high pass filter up and down, so you can hear what it does. It has a drastic effect. I like it about there, but you get a deeper sound down here, and you get a higher, screechier sound down here. So I like it. What it had at like 30. Yeah, it's good because the cutoff is at 26 hertz and it's going up 21. So it's just a little bit of movement there, along with the movement that it's already doing in this LFO tab. Yeah, so that's the macro, and also I forgot to mention that envelope 1 also has the feedback for the delay on there. Because if I left the feedback all the way up, it'd still do a weird delay after you've let off the note. It'd do a strange, like, clicking back and forth delay, and it sounded weird. I didn't like it, so I just mapped it to the envelope there. So as soon as I lift the key, that wide metallic flanging, which is basically what it is, it's a very customizable flanger, it goes away. So I don't get anything messy at the end. It's the reverb, but the reverb isn't messy. The reverb sounds pretty nice. So that's how I went about making this virtual Riot warm-up style basses. I hope y'all found this tutorial helpful. Drop a like, comment what you thought about this. Also comment if you want me to make a sound, because I've been doing sound design for a while and I know a thing or two, and I haven't gotten any comments thus far. I mean, I just hit 50 subscribers, which is cool, so there isn't that many people, but even still, like, I'm sure there's a sound you think you want me to make, or even just to challenge me. I think it'd be fun to do something like that. So yeah, be sure to subscribe as well for more weekly videos, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Peace.